You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Hey, this is John Preston, Marine Combat Veteran and Pacific Records recording artist. Just reaching out to have you check out our new album, Battle Cry, Songs of America's Heroes, an album featuring phenomenal other combat veteran artists like Scott Brown of the Scooter Brown Band, Ryan Weaver, Rowdy Johnson, just an incredible mix of people. This is all veterans telling our stories and our lives, and we're giving 100% of our proceeds to the Valkyrie Initiative to help veterans and first responders integrate back into society. I myself have battled with post-traumatic stress for many years and lost my own brother, a Marine Corps veteran, to suicide. I ask that you step with us and make this happen. We are in pre-order right now and release on March 17th. Go to iTunes, go to Amazon, buy. We plan on making the charts and making it at a very high level, and your support right now makes a difference. This is the release of my new song, Superman Falls, which is actually about the loss of my own brother, which happened last year, and I would love for everyone to check it out, to listen, and hopefully it'll make a difference in many lives.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
Get your free inventor's information. Call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687. 2687.
You are listening live to the Vito and Vito Show. Disrespectful to the executive branch.
I would remind you that extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice.
Don't sign the damn deal, and the president will...
Therefore, I do not believe that the majority can vote a man's life or property or freedom away from him.
And we're live here on the Vito and Vito Show. I'm Vito.
And I'm Vito.
We want to welcome everybody to the Vito and Vito Show. Check out the website, www.vitoandvito.com. Give us a follow, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Vito and Vito Show, and allow my co-host to explain what you're listening to.
We are bringing you the perspectives of two college-age millennial libertarian conservatives out of liberal hellhole, Brooklyn, New York, where we're committed to defend the principles of free markets, liberty, and individualism. I've memorized that.
I'm proud of you.
But it's not even like I know it, it kind of just comes out.
It took a long time for you to get that down, huh?
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't even need a teleprompter anymore.
I'm so proud of you. Barack Obama would be so proud. We got a good show for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be talking about the travel ban, the new travel ban with Donald Trump. We're talking about
the budget.
Mm-hmm.
You know how this country is going to be spending your money and more.
Not to mention, we're going to be talking about the budget, the travel ban, and we also have a guest calling in later on tonight.
That's right, my friend Alex from Canada. He's a college student, and he happens to apparently be liberal, which is weird because we speak to a lot of liberals in our life. You know, being in Brooklyn, hence the liberal hellhole that I mentioned before. But they're too afraid to come on the show. So it's actually pretty cool to have him come on the show. We're going to discuss things. Hopefully he doesn't hang up on us.
I hope so, too.
Hopefully we don't hang up on him.
That's true. That's true.
So
it's going to be a good
fun.
show.
He's going to weigh in a Canadian's viewpoint about Trump and America.
Well, it's going to be a fun show.
That's the definition of a fun show.
You know, I mean, we're going to go ahead and we're going to fight him on many different topics. We'll talk about Trump. We'll talk about, I guess, Canadian. You want to talk about Canadian politics?
Oh, my God. I think I said Canadian porn.
No, I wasn't going to say Canadian porn. Not at all. No. Do you want to talk about Canadian porn?
I'm fine with that.
All right.
I mean, we can always go off script.
If the Canadians have any type of... I don't know.
Oh, come on. Of course they do.
I don't know. Everyone does, I guess.
Yeah, that Margaret Thatcher kind of stuff.
Let's get into the budget. All right, so
Sure.
you've been doing some research on the budget. What'd you find out?
Donald Trump, he proposed this, I believe, this morning. Very early this morning before everyone woke up.
Good morning.
Good morning. What is it, 1.15 trillion? He was talking about mainly an increase in the defense spending and the military, but a cut. This is the best part. He cuts many things, including the EPA. And apparently they're going to cut like 3,000 jobs and all this other stuff from the EPA and many other things. And they have a list of things he's going to cut, which, of course, immediately reminded me of Rick Perry. Remember when he said he's going to have a list of cutting and forgot immediately?
Right.
Well, Donald Trump apparently is doing this, and it's funny because he never really spoke about cutting too many things.
Okay.
But here he is. So part of it was the EPA, the State Department, a whole bunch of fun things, and that it's great because other guys who ran with Trump, like Ted Cruz, brought up cutting things, and Trump, as we know during the primaries, avoided certain things, but he's cutting the Health and Human Services, $12.6 billion cut, EPA, State Department, Labor Department, Agriculture Department, U.S. Army of Engineers, National Institutes of Health.
Well, what happens is there are over 13% cuts in the Department of Education, and Trump's budget proposes a $168 million increase for charter school programs and $250 million for a private school choice program. So that's amazing. You know,
That's
Trump,
great.
He's cutting funding for several agencies.
You know that has something to do with DeVos.
Betsy DeVos, that's right. DeVos, whatever. I really like her. There's a 28% cut in the State Department, mostly because of cuts in foreign aid. Thank God. The EPA experiences a 30% cut. The EPA is the biggest loser in the budget. The Department of Agriculture gets a 29% cut. Health and Human Services and the Department of Labor are also cut by 20%. So Trump is sticking to the campaign promise of cutting the useless spending in Washington. The budget calls for the elimination of funds for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and as well as endowments for the arts and humanities. So, I mean, enough of this liberal nonsense. NPR, they're out of the picture. PBS, these liberal things.
I mean, I'm devastated about the NPR cut.
Oh, yeah, just
because
ruined.
Aside from Jack Daniels, that's one of the things that really put me to sleep. So I don't know how my sleep schedule is going to be after that one. But the increase in defense, I believe they said 10%. It was the largest since Ronald Reagan. Now, some say that's a good thing, some say it's not a good thing. The argument for it is to...
Well, $54 billion would be increased for defense spending.
Now, to get our military back up, because we know that it was cut dramatically and completely mishandled during Obama's administration, and I believe the Navy was cut down to the smallest it's been since World War I. So definitely not good things happening with the military, and Donald Trump said he's going to fix it, and he's doing that right now. Other guys, even Republicans, have already criticized this proposed budget and saying that the military, it's inefficient, we're spending too much money on it. Then we have guys like McCain. Remember John McCain? The guy who's like 100 years old? Yes, he's still around. And he's saying that we need to spend even more money on the military to get it back to where we need to be. Now, I don't know if we should believe him. But do you think we're spending too much money on the military? Too little? Should we spend more?
I'm sure you can make cuts. I mean, we need to separate two things here. The Department of Veterans Affairs gets an increased 10% in spending. So Trump, promised to the veterans, he said we're going to take care of our vets. Well, he does. Right, the question is how efficient is that money going to be spent?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Listen, you can spend as much money as you want, as we know the government can easily do. But is it efficient? Is things actually going to get fixed, and is that going to help? That's the question. But now, the military point, the actually armed forces, they're building that back up. But to what degree is too much money or too little going into it?
That's a good question.
Because the whole big thing is quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Or if you have both.
Well,
better than neither.
$54 billion increase in funding for the defense.
Which might sound like a lot of money. But it's really not.
There's also an increase, by the way, for immigration enforcement. $4.1 billion is supposed to be invested for the wall. So,
Wait, Mexico's paying that.
Well, he said Mexico pays back at a later date.
Sure.
But either way, $4.1 billion invested towards the wall. And I know people are going to make an outcry, but, it's very simple when you see the figures. Relatively, $4.1 billion, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but $4.1 billion is not that much money.
To Donald Trump.
Compared to, I think Donald Trump's, by the way, worth maybe like $7 billion, so that's pretty funny that less than his net worth is being,
we know a lot of this because Rachel Maddow decided.
Oh, yeah, releases the tax. Ooh, with Trump
breaking news.
Paying more in taxes.
Pays taxes.
Haha.
How much does Maddow pay? That's what I want to know.
That's a good question. Bernie Sanders actually pays less than Donald Trump. How about that?
How much does he make? Well,
I don't know.
He's a Jew. Is that bad to say on air?
Vito.
Is that bad?
Where are you going with this?
I'm just going to state his religion.
He's a Jew?
Yeah.
Well, what does that have to do with anything?
Is that bad or should I say Jewish? Can that be taken out of context?
Is it like a money thing? Is that what you're going for?
No, hey, listen, guy. That's I don't know why you brought that up.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
Okay.
Don't be racist. Don't be anti-Semitic. Is that what you're going with?
Listen.
Like you brought it up.
Hey, I was thinking it. You said it.
The outline increase is defending, like we said, $54 billion. I mean, look, I got no problem with this in a way. For the most part, of course, I don't like the increase in spending, but I guess I'll take it. I mean, we see some huge cuts. We're talking like Ronald Reagan level cuts right here.
Good. I want to see things get abolished. That's what I want.
That's what I want to see, too. Well, he says the elimination of funds for, like we said, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, the Humanities Endowments. But those are small. I mean, the EPA getting a 30% cut, that's pretty big. He's going over a quarter.
The 4 and 8, too, and like little things. Like, I remember a couple years ago under Obama, we were spending a couple $1 million to bring Sesame Street and PBS kind of shows to, like, Iraq.
Yeah, like, what is it, Mitt Romney wants to kill Big Bird or something like that?
Yeah, like, why are we spending millions of dollars, which is nothing to our budget, but it's still millions of dollars going to, what? Cartoons for children in Iraq?
No, I see where the libertarians could take a issue with this budget as the increase in defense spending, but they can also praise the decrease and the cutting in the State Department's
it's a step in the right direction.
Foreign aid. I mean, yeah, but this is a traditional Republican thing. Cutting, or rather increasing spending in the military, we kind of get that. But the question is, what can be? I mean, look, this pretty much satisfies every single coalition of the GOP. The Warhawks get an increase in spending. the Libertarians get a cut in foreign aid. Every Republican's happy because every single energy department or whatever is getting cut.
We're getting the wall.
Getting the wall. So if
Mexico's
you're an immigration hawk, you're getting changes. So I'd vote for it. I'm not against it.
It's definitely much better than anything Obama did. Actually, better than we've seen anything since Ronald Reagan. Mm-hmm. And this is only the first of 4, possibly 8 years for Trump to do something with the budget. Mm-hmm. So if he's cutting now, hopefully he continues to cut. We'll see what happens in the future. I'm going to say this is just the first proposal.
Well, this is also...
The Congress also has to look at it.
Don't forget the lobbying has to come into play, and of course the special interest, so we'll see.
Right, so who knows what's going to happen, what's going to get washed and this and that. Mm-hmm. But you already got people attacking, of course, including Republicans, but you have Schumer, who I like to call Sandra Schmuck.
I think we can say that. Go ahead.
I think so.
Go ahead.
A lot of Jewish references tonight. Not my senator, because he's from New York, the minority leader. He's saying that this is a disgrace to the middle class. Now, I don't see how this is a disgrace nor affects the middle class. Like, he's making it sound like this is a catastrophe.
I mean, let's take a step back here for a second. Forget Schumer, we can care less. It doesn't really affect the middle class as much as they think it does. When we go into the argument, which I find to be great, is that because I want to go back to PBS and stuff. I mean, we're cutting funds. We want to talk about the left-wing news and whatnot. We're cutting some funds here. PBS and NPR just push one type of an agenda. And we're seeing a big, slash in funding, a big fight against these things. And I'm going to be honest, PBS is pretty cool. I like PBS from time to time.
You like Sesame Street? My favorite time.
But they could operate, and they've said this, NPR and the rest of them, they could all operate independent of government finance. So they don't need the government to fund them.
Right, and when the government was
funding
them... Please. A couple years ago, remember when porn was on Sesame Street, when they cut to porn by accident?
Oh, yeah.
And the mothers were outraged because their 2-year-olds were watching porn for a few minutes? That's government run. So somebody working for the government, I don't know how they messed that up. Okay? Unless you're running PBS from your basement. Then I can understand that.
Yeah, something happened. But if you take a step back, I mean, when you look at PBS...
these things can still run.
Yeah, I mean, but, they could still operate.
Probably better than they are now.
Independent of government finance.
Maybe NPR can get somebody who knows how to speak and doesn't whisper.
When you look at the whole thing, these are still, it's still like little changes. You're not getting these total revamping of the government. If I wanted to see big change, it would have been good in a way to fully cut a lot of these agencies. But there's lobbying nonsense. Of course, Trump also proposed the idea of a regulatory freeze. He's already done this, where if you have, you got to get rid of one regulation in order to get 2 new ones. No, for every one regulation, 2 regulations have to be cut. So, that's kind of like that Reagan issue on if you want to increase in taxes, you got to cut $2 or $3 in spending, which is great. So we're seeing a change. You're seeing that implemented finally. The question is it going to get watered down in the Senate and then the House of Representatives? So we'll see where we go from there. But I'm still proud of the president. I think he's doing a pretty bang-up job, and the more he continues to do for the American taxpayer, I think the better off we'll be. We've seen an increase in jobs. The question is, the Fed said they're going to raise rates this week. So we've seen, the economy seems to be moving in a direction, all parameters pointed at. The question is it going to really explode like we know American economy can explode?
Well, it's going to happen slowly. And since the election, I believe, $3 trillion has been invested into the United States economy.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
into the stock market.
In stock market. Yeah. So...
But don't be fooled. The stock market is also
in the right direction.
Yeah, well, you can say the same thing on the Obama. The stock market kind of went up on him. So you don't want to get fooled. You want to look at the real hard numbers. How many Americans are actually working? Where's our labor force participation rate? How many Americans are on food stamps? How many people are dependent upon government assistance? That's what you want to look at.
Yeah, and the criticism is definitely going to be, well, Donald Trump says he's going to get Americans jobs, but he's cutting thousands of jobs from the government, from the federal government with all these cuts. But these people, number one, how many of these jobs are actually efficient and actually mean something? Okay, 1. And 2, they will find other jobs in the private sector. That's the whole point.
That's not my concern. I don't think anybody's really concerned about that. People are more just concerned about the programs. No, about the programs that are being cut.
This is definitely going to be a thing. You're putting 3,000 people out of work just from the EPA alone.
I'm sure they'll find a way.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm talking about the criticism. What do you think Democrats going to say?
Yeah.
Not just energy. You really think they sit there and like, oh, the environment? No.
Mm-hmm.
They're also losing money on this. You think Chuck Schumer really cares about you and your Johnny Appleseed out back? Really? Give me a break.
It's going to be good to see. We'll see. We will see. Let's also here talk about the Donald Trump immigration plan, because this is something. You know, I mean, if we go back and we look at the new immigration plan under Donald Trump, I'm kind of a fan of this. Not as much as the first one, but a judge has blocked the immigration ban, saying how Trump's statements about Muslims during the presidential campaign is in violation of religious freedom in this country. What? Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. It claims religious discrimination.
What about his freedom of speech?
It's ridiculous. In a 43-page ruling, the U.S. District Court Judge Derek Watson, who presides in Honolulu, this is in Hawaii, this court struck down or stopped the law from going into effect, concluded in no uncertain terms that the new executive order failed to pass legal muster at this stage, and the state had established a strong likelihood of success on their claims of religious discrimination. Trump said the order he blocked was a watered-down version of the first one. And, he spoke at a rally, and they all, booed. This, in the opinion of many, an unprecedented judicial overreach, Trump said, before pledging to take the issue to the Supreme Court if necessary. So what I don't like about this, and let's just give a quick overview of what the new ban is about. The new ban was supposed to go into effect on Thursday. It would have banned people from Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen from entering the U.S. for 90 days, and all refugees for 120. So it's not like it's going crazy and it's ripping things out of the ground and
No, that's something like Obama's immigration ban from Iraq in 2011.
Right.
So wasn't that long either.
But at the same time, this
the
ban
courts didn't strike that down.
No, they didn't. And the basis of striking down Trump's bans, both of them at this point, is because Donald Trump said he wanted a Muslim ban in the campaign. That has nothing to do with the law that is in place. Because it's crazy talk. What they say on the campaign trail, unless it gets written in stone and passed by the legislature, you can't use that. It seems crazy to me that you could use that as an argument and a legal basis against legislation that does not even revolve around that topic. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair to the people listening. It's not fair to the people who follow the law. It's not fair at all. And frankly, at the end of the day, if you really want to see a change, and you really want to see a difference in this country, you're going to have to let... Yeah, I'm thinking about what to say here. You're going to have to let the legislature work on its own. And then the courts come in and they start to act. It's not the other way around. Right now the courts are attacking a law based on the court's biased liberal opinion of that law. It's not fair. That's not fair to Trump. It's not fair to the legislator. That's not fair to anybody who's trying to get this thing passed. And they're not doing it because they're against the law per se. They're against what Donald Trump said on the campaign trail. That's not fair.
And that has nothing to do with the law.
No.
And if it was objective, the 2011 ban under Obama would have been struck down too.
It has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with the countries mentioned. And frankly, the refugee situation, nothing to do with religion. Who cares if there was a Muslim majority country? It don't matter. Iraq was taken off the list to accommodate this new ban. It's a watered down version. I'm not a big fan.
After extreme vetting.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's not fair to the president. And it's not fair to the lawmakers. Give them a shot, and then if you don't like the law, you criticize the law itself. You don't criticize what Trump said on the campaign trail, because that's not fair. That's just not fair at all. Because there are Republicans who are against Trump who have signed on to this ban because it has nothing to do with what he said on the campaign trail. So again, the judges are legislating from the bench, and it's not fair to the American people who want to see this stuff get in action. Because, frankly, I don't see the unconstitutionality of any of this. Not at all. Nothing is there, and I'll debate any lawyer that comes on the show. Vito and Vito go on a break. When we return, we're going to argue with a liberal. Don't go anywhere to the Vito and Vito show.
Who might you save?
Your mother, your father, your husband, uncle, aunt, son.
Learn FAST, F-A-S-T, the sudden signs of a stroke, and you could save
your friend, teacher, boss.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. F-A-S-T. That's F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in the recovery of
your neighbor, the waiter, grandmother, grandfather.
So learn FAST, the sudden signs of a stroke, then pass it on, because you never know who might save you.
Your wife, your colleague.
Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org, brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape?
You mean the one in my mouth?
You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel?
Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman! Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal.
Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs, the California Society of CPAs, and the Ad Council.
Fighting the Common Core standards? Need a powerful tool to help inform others on this harmful education initiative? You're covered with Common Ground on Common Core, the collection of essays by 20 top education experts and activists. Reviewers call it the best single resource on the topic. You can share it with literally anyone. Order your print or digital copy of Common Ground on Common Core today. Just visit resoundingbooks.org. That's resoundingbooks.org. And get $2 off when you tell them Vito and Vito sent you. Paid for by Resounding Books Pack.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. Separated. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
The most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ReadyPA.org, brought to you by ReadyPA, FEMA, and the Ad Council.